Hello, my friends. This is Dr. Ginny Barrow, and welcome to one more frustration and challenge companies and senior leaders face, and that is resistance to change. As Einstein says, change is the only constant. And because of our need for certainty, most organizations and teams, when they're encountering changes, whether it's major transformations that are happening, at the structural level or economic changes that are impacting the workforce within your organization, reorgs, etc., change is here to stay. We support our partners by helping them navigate through the changes and helping their talent develop a healthy outlook toward the change so that they can be as productive while they're going through the change and also creative in coming up with solutions that will support the teams, that will support the leadership, and that will help the business to continue to grow and to support our clients and provide the best service and products that we possibly can. In today's training, I want to tackle this resistance to change and the approach that we use at Executive Bound to help you address them. Our framework is pretty straightforward and it works. And the first step we take is to identify what are the challenges specifically to your talent in navigating the changes that they're facing. If we try to solve a problem without really understanding the source of it, we're going to be shooting in the dark. We're going to be trying to hit a bullseye with a blindfold on. So it's really important to check in and figure out what are the sources of the resistance? What are the challenges that they're having in navigating the change and adapting to the unfamiliar from a human needs perspective, which is something that not everyone looks into. That is part of our framework. The other piece that we address when it comes to change is developing a growth mindset, helping your talent, your teams, your leadership team develop a growth mindset around the change so that navigating the uncertainty with resilience and ease is the byproduct of them evolving their way of thinking about what's happening with the change. And of course, it's going to be very personal. People will be shaken at their core. And some of us see that as an opportunity, and some of us see it as a very negative challenge. And you're going to have a mix of both types of mindsets within your organization. So let's level the playing field and let's give them the tools that they need to look at this change from a place of a growth opportunity and realistically preparing them so that no matter what happens, they know they have a unique value and set of superpowers that will help them land in a good place for their future. That is a challenge, and that's something that we can do as leaders and we can do to help our members as leaders. For people who are managing in their roles, it's important for them to leverage their strengths to communicate about the future and to build relationships and a support network around the change. It's also important for them to recognize the change management pitfalls that people usually fall into and to help mitigate them. These are only a few examples of how our framework supports you in guiding your teams to reflect through what are the challenges in the resistance to the change, how to develop a growth mindset, and to communicate from a place of strength about the future, and also recognizing things that could go wrong that typically do if we're not paying attention and how to mitigate those. You have so much power as a leader because our people are looking at us. They are looking to see our reactions. They're looking to see how we behave every day. And if they see fear and they see angst and they don't really see even what is happening in a way that could be compelling for them, regardless of what the outcome might be, that's going to create a lot of resistance to the change. And it's part of our nature. It's also part of our survival mechanism. So, as leaders, how can we do that for our teams if we don't have the skills to do it? This is why it's so important to think about, how do I train my leaders so they can be champions of change, champions of the one thing that is happening continuously. We're constantly evolving as an organization, as a company. Change is here to stay. And the more tools we can give our leadership and our teams to manage that change, the better we'll be off in the long run. Whatever investments you make in developing your team around resistance to change and how to shift their mindset to become more creative, more solution focused, and to create an outlook that will support them through that change, the more successful we will be as a company and as a team. So, if that's you and you would like to invite me to explore what situation are you currently going through and to craft a transformational training that will support your leaders to follow this framework and methodically take them through the training so they can begin to shift their mindset and then be able to mentor and coach their teams, you can always visit me at callwithginny.com to set up a 45-minute strategy session where we can discuss exactly what's on your mind and how we can help you. And in the meantime, use these strategies that I mentioned to begin getting more clarity around dealing with resistance to change. I know that unless you do something about it, most likely what you have experienced will continue to happen in the future. And we don't want that to be the case. 12 months from now, what will be different unless we do something about it? I always say, as leaders, it always starts with us. So let's connect and let's make the changes we need to ensure that your team is ready to tackle the changes that will continue to come upon us as avalanches. And once we can handle that, we'll be able to translate that outside of work and continue to move forward, making progress, which is the only way that as humans we are happy, when we are making progress. Live with purpose, live with joy. Looking forward to connecting soon.